Good morning, everyone. So, I wanted to say welcome to my podcast, The Awakening Souls. Also, I wanted to say apologize. I am an hour late. Family things that I could not help. Also, what time is it? I know we lost time or we gained time. I'm not sure. Let me know in the comments. So, anyway, I'm so happy to welcome you back. I had two other podcasts, one from last week and another one. If you have seen them, they're on YouTube, Facebook, and also on Spotify. Yes. Okay. So, this week I am alone. Last week I had Alasa. Next week I'm having Tammy, which is so excited. And I just want to say that we are going to have guests, but also I'm going to be doing the podcast by myself too. So we're going to have both, like a mixture of all of it. If you want to be a guest, let me know. I will be glad to bring you on. And also today we are talking about my Qhht session. Okay. This one is kind of wild. There's some people that will like this, and there's some people that will not. This is a different kind of spiritual modality that people use to find healing in their self, in their soul. And I've always wanted to do one of these, but I would never. They're really, really pricey. So actually, I got gifted this, which was amazing. The universe knew that I needed this so I could move forward in my life. So for me, I believe this 100%. A lot of people do not believe in this stuff. But if you're watching my podcast, you probably know that I am spiritual, and you probably are too, and you understand this. And if you don't, this can open up so many opportunities for you, for your loved ones, for yourself. So QHHT is quantum healing hypnosis technique. And it's your higher self, your God self, your soul talks to you. Now, one of the things I wanted to say in this session, you get a copy of it and you get to listen to it. What you said, I am talking in third person. So I'm actually going, huh? Wow. Like I am talking to another person, which is actually myself, which is kind of weird. I will say that for sure. It's kind of weird, but it is really neat. And it also has gave me some answers to things that I needed to hear for myself. Because we always think we know the right thing, but our higher self always knows the right thing. And we get these little, what do you call them? I want to call them nuggets or feelings, basically feelings, telling us we're on the right track. Now, I do want to say when I first became a spiritual awakening being or whatever you call it, I see numbers. So I see 222, 555, 777. And I still see those numbers and my ears ring. So my ears ring all the time, especially when I'm on the right track. So if I'm on the right track with speaking my truth out in the world, then my ears will ring. So anyway, I have wrote down a lot because there's just no way that you can remember all of it. It was a 5-hour session. And let me tell you a little bit about it. So when you first go in, you're talking. It's almost like a therapy session. We talked for a couple hours. I wasn't feeling safe to be there. I was very nervous. I wasn't feeling safe. It was a lady that I didn't know. Amazing lady, but I didn't know that at the time. Now I know that she was safe, loving, caring. You can just hear in her voice how she just wants to help people. But when you first go there, you feel weird and you're like, I don't know how you're going to lay down with a blanket and like basically go into a trance. And you're saying, I don't even know this person, anything could happen. And that's how I felt. So they do let you get comfortable and talk about yourself and talk about things that's going on in your past, and you bring questions to ask. So I brought questions I wanted to know from my higher self, from, the universe, whatever you call it. But it's basically your higher self. Um, so anyway, one of the things that, let me see, the first thing I want to say is, when we went under trance, she made me feel so comfortable, and I laid there, and she just led me down like this little pathway and relaxed my body. She's real soft spoken. Um, I'm not going to release her name right now. If she wants me to, I will, and then you guys can go further with her. But she was amazing. Um, we're friends on Facebook. I'm hoping we can be real friends. So anyway, I got relaxed after we talked for quite a while. I talked, I drank, I went to the bathroom, make sure everything was cool. Then I laid down on a bed, and then she does whatever she does to bring, a relaxing meditation, basically, to bring my higher self through. And the first thing I said is that I was by a body of water. But now gets kind of weird, you guys. So, what do you call it? Woo woo. It kind of gets woo woo. So, anyway, I was by a body of water, which was the ocean. And then I realized to myself, I love the ocean. That's why I'm always drawn to the water. And I know a lot of people are, and maybe this can help you to see why, your own session. But I was drawn to a body of water, but I didn't have a body. So I would say, in my third person, I was saying, I am not a body. I am a ball of black light, like black light. I didn't even say light. I said black light. But now that I think about it, it was dark outside. In my mind, it was dark. And then as I end up waking up or going into the woods, and it was getting light. It was getting lighter and getting lighter and getting lighter. And as it got lighter in the morning, or I guess because I was at night, then I started to have a body. But the whole time I could feel. So I didn't see my body. Like, I looked around, I didn't see that I had a body. So I was like, I'm just a soul in the air. Then once it became morning, I seen that I had a body. But I had a headache. So I knew I had a head because my head was aching. And these things are just different things that happen to me. Everybody has a different experience, but I just wanted to let you know about mine. So finally, they said, what does the water mean to you? And I said, calm and peace. So that's why I'm drawn to it. Calm, at peace. It makes me feel like I can let go. And that's what happened in my real life now. So a lot of this stuff was my real life. And in this session, she says, why did you choose to bring Suzette to the real life that she's living? And I believe, for me, this is my belief, that this is my last life of living. I know some people believe in reincarnation and everything, but I think I'm here and I'm going to accomplish what I'm supposed to. And I don't know, this is what I believe, but maybe not. So I'm just here to because it's like everything that she's saying, or I don't want to say she, I want to say the higher self. Everything the higher self is saying, it was in this lifetime, besides 2 past lives. But one of them, I don't believe that was mine. So anyway, so first I was by the ocean, that brought me calm and peace. The second one, came like I had no body, but I felt something on my chest, and that I was walking into a forest, and I came to this house, and it was really, really dirty. And it was really, it was like boarded up, and it looked kind of like the old days when, Little House on the Prairie, like an example, except worse. Like, the house was trashed. The house didn't look good outside. It was really dirty. And then she said, look at yourself. And I looked at myself, and I was dirty boots, dirty dress. I wore a potato sack. A potato sack dress is what I wore. I had long brown, dirty hair, which was dirty and nappy, and some old boots. So, and I could feel, I said in this session that this was not my house, but I could feel that I lived there in a certain time. It wasn't my house now, but I don't think it was my house ever. I think it was one of my family's houses, like back generations. So I believe that's true. We came from, it looked like poverty, basically. And that's been a big belief thing in our, poverty has been a big belief in our family, even that we have abundance of money. So in our family, not that I have the abundance of money, but it is in our family. So it's a belief. So anyway, I went to this house and I knew that I lived there with people, or an aspect of me knew that I lived with people, and that there was 11 people that lived there. So I talked to my mom, told her about the experience, and she said that this was a family member that lived with 11 people in this old time house, which is 90 something years old. And I was like, oh my God. So, like, my higher self was bringing me back to this moment. And also, they had a wooden doll. So, the thing that was on my chest was the wooden doll. Back then, they made dolls out of wood. We're talking back then, like the 900s, 1900s, or whatever. So that this was wild, because I'm just listening to this again today. I listened to it before this podcast and I was like, this stuff is crazy. So anyway, I brought that up. Let's see what else I said. I was dying in the, it was just, everything was dark. And I kept saying, dark, dirty, brown, dark, dirty brown is what I kept saying. Then she brought me to the next, like, you go through these sessions, like, what's the next lifetime thing that you want to go to? And I went to having a baby. And I didn't actually feel I was having a baby. I was just like having a baby. So I was in a hospital, it was clean, because they asked me in the session, was this clean? Was it safe? It was all that. It was clean, safe. I was having a baby. I was just sitting there in a pink shirt, is what I said. I'm sitting here in a pink shirt. Is anybody there? No, just me having my own baby girl. I said, I'm having a baby girl. I don't know how or what, but I wasn't in the physical act of it. I just knew I was having a baby girl in the hospital. It was nice and clean, and I was so happy, but nobody was there. So, and I feel like that's happened to me in this lifetime with my daughter. Like, and you guys, my whole family was there, like my whole family and his family and all the nine. But maybe this is how I felt. Like it was just me and my daughter, me and, so, because this is about us. Basically, what our higher self is telling us that we need to know what is really important in your life. So these are important things like that. And that was important, that I knew that the ocean kept me calm, which that's important. That my baby girl and me, I felt like we were two alone. I still feel like that. In the question, it said, does the father, want the baby? And it was like, no. So I feel, and still to the day, it's just, that's all played out how it is. So then it said to the next, hold on. No one wants me to get, so then the next scene of my life to the major thing that I was going to go through was my marriage. So I said, I am here to get married. And then she said, where are you at? And I said, in my bedroom by myself. Well, where are you going to go get married at? And I never physically went and seen in my sight that I was getting married, but I was getting married that I didn't want to. Nobody was coming. And I said, why I do not want to get married? And I said, he's abusive. And then I said, everybody's abusive in my life. And I'm like, what? And this was true in this life too. But here's the thing. This is my past life, which is not my past life, in my present life right now, in my past, which I have overcome. So these are things that I have overcome in this lifetime, in my present moment right now. So abusive, didn't want to get married. And then they said, well, what does he look like? Well, he was happy. And I said, whatever, he's an idiot. I mean, that's what I said in my thing, like in my session. I don't know. So somewhere inside of me felt not worthy to be able to marry a person like this. But we go back to our childhood. Look at the childhood, dirty, nasty, not feeling good enough. Then you go to have a baby. You're having it all alone by yourself, feeling like you're the only one to love it and it's the only one to love you, not feeling a lot of love there. So then you get into a marriage that is abusive. Well, naturally they're in love. They're like, hell yeah, I'm living out my abusive life and I'm just taking it. Me not knowing any better. This is my old life that I lived. Okay, abused me and the people that beside my, and this is what I said in the thing. Everyone abuses me besides my baby. That is wild because this was like the truth. Okay. So that was another thing. Some of this stuff is rough to take, you guys. Then on an opening total, then I go to another aspect of my life, and it's when I'm having my baby boy, which I have him. And in this scene, everyone's happy. Like the baby's happy, the mom's happy, the dad's happy, and everything's happy. So this scene, it was a happy scene. And my other scene with the baby was happy. It was just like I said nobody was there, which was not so in this real reality. That's like what I said. I might have felt that way. Also, in this scene with me, I said me, my doctor, and my husband, and my baby was in there. And that was all a happy space for us, which was amazing. Then it said, look at yourself. And so then it says, I go from my baby to 30 years back or up, like when I'm at 40 years old in this lifetime. And it says, where are you at now? And I said, in a bedroom looking in the mirror. And I said, who are you? This has happened in my real life. I wrote a book about believe. When I wrote that book, I was looking in the mirror saying, who are you? At this time of my reality, in my dream or in my session, my ears are ringing, is me 12 years ago, 14 years ago now, looking at myself saying, who are you after my children are grown and my husband is gone? So then I got to look and be a reflection of myself. And I said, when she said, the practitioner said, how does this make you feel? I said, scared, but free. Whew, I can feel the overwhelming freeness over the whole situation. The lifetime that I've lived right now, and I think that's why my higher self has let me go through this lifetime, has been a pretty traumatic lifetime for me. Now, I did go into a past life, and we'll talk about that in a minute, but it's been a dramatic lifetime for me to go through and to get through and to reflect and look who I am. And it's brought up so much, and it has made me the greatest person that I am today. I mean, it's just so amazing. Okay, so then my next position was that, I was reflecting, who are you? And then we're going into the next place. And she says, what is happening? What is hurting in your body? And I said, my legs. So my higher self says, I have pressure on my legs because this is where you hold your grief and you hold your grief and your anger. So I hold all my grief and anger in my legs. Um, I believe this is true because when I first had this great big panic attack, the first thing that went wrong with me was my legs. So, like, they just went limp and they didn't want, I mean, I could hardly even walk. Um, I could walk to the kitchen and back, and then I was laying. So I laid down for like 6 months, and my legs have just went to holy crap. Like, I don't have a lot of muscle in my leg. Um, and it's just grief and pain and all the things in there. And I think that's an aspect of my grandmother, um, on my mother's side. So I think we have the same grief that we hold in our legs. So that was one of the things that I need to work on, though, because you write this down and you get it, and then you bring it home and you work on this stuff. Like, I do meditations about letting go of grief, letting go of um, anxiety or anger. You know, a lot of times we are angry at people and we don't even know it. We still don't know it because our unconscious is telling us what our body's doing. We live 95% of unconscious. Our 5% is mind's like, oh my God, blah, 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 blah. And then our unconscious is like, no, this is not how it is. Where you want it, your logical mind's like, I'm going to do this, and your unconscious is like, no, let's knock you down. And this is what happens, you guys. We just have to be aware of it. I am becoming aware of it. Last week on my podcast, broke my toe. This week, a thing came up in our family, was an hour late. So, but here's the thing, I just keep going. No matter what, I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep going until my unconscious mind aligns with my conscious mind and says, okay, we're doing this, we're doing that, we're doing everything. She's still getting on the podcast and she's doing it. So then it has to line up. It just has to. So that wasn't in my session, but I just went on a tangent. But it's my podcast, right? I love it. So anyway, the next one is kind of a scary one. I didn't realize this was going to happen, but it said, take me back to a past life. So in my past life, and some people's not going to like this, and I have felt like this in my body. I was a witch. So I was up on this pedestal, and there was all these people around me. But here's the thing. On the pedestal, I felt fine. I felt wonderful. And the people down here were like, I guess, mad at me because I was a witch. But they weren't mad at me because I was doing bad things. They were mad at me because I was doing good things. I was healing their son, healing their daughters, healing. And here's the thing. Back then, when people are healing people, they're like, there's something wrong with this person. There's magic, it's witchcraft, it's whatever it is. It's called healing. Now, why? Just like Jesus, and I'm not saying I'm anywhere like Jesus, but when God's going and healing the people, getting them bread, getting them food, giving them, would you like to see? Would you like to hear? And giving the blessings, they kill him because they don't understand. So what do they say in the Bible? They don't know what they don't know. They don't understand. They don't understand. So in my witch session that I had, they did kill me. And here's what I said. I'm not mad because they don't know. And then I said, why do you hurt me? I'm just trying to help you. I have lived this my whole life. Oh my God, you guys, this has resonated with me so much. I have always just tried to love the people that hurt me. I have loved my mom. I love my dad. I've loved my husband. I've loved my children. I've not tried to hurt anyone. What do you want to say? Like, knowingly I was hurting them. I didn't mean to. And I've been the one to say, if I've hurt you, I will come to you and I will apologize and say, I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that. I didn't know that this was going to hurt you. Things that I've learned in the past, say from my parents or my grandparents, and I've done to other people, and be like, oh my God, now that I'm awakened, I know that I've done them things, and I've come back and said, I am sorry. Like, I have had that conversation with all of these people because that's who I really am. I would never intentionally hurt anyone. And I'm glad that that session came up because I looked at this person that they thought was bad, and I wasn't bad at all. And this is my lifetime right now. I'm not bad. I want to help you. I want to love you. And a lot of people think that, who are you? Who did you think you are? You think you can help us? And a lot of it is, it's just ego. And I'm not saying I don't live in my ego. Yes, I do. But the other people thinking, oh, you can help me. I can do it. I've had a lot of people say, well, I can do it myself. You can't help my kids because, um, you know, I'm the one to help them. And, usually I'm going to say this. I've helped my kids a lot, but usually you're not the one to help your kids. Usually they have to do the work themselves. They hear it from another person and it resonates to them. Because you are the person that hurts your children. You are the person that hurts your children, regardless if you think you do or not. We all hurt people not knowing that we do. And so you're usually not your children's life coach. Now, I've tried to coach my children as much as I can, and they'll tell me, nope, nope. But they'll come to me and say, well, I heard this from this person, or I heard this from a video. And I'm like, oh my God, yes. And here's me. Take it any way you can get it. I don't care. I'm not the person that says, well, you can't be my kid's life coach. Please do. Please do. Let them hear it. I want them to hear it any way they can. I don't want to be in my ego, yes, and say, well, I'm the only one that can hear my children. That's not true. 100%. And just letting you know, because, and I'm not trying to be mean, it's just so many people has held their children back from being heard, seen, or whatever, because they said they're the ones, and you're not. You just aren't. But anyway, so I'm glad I got to hear that because I am that person. I'm the person that wants to help you and wants to heal you. And I've had so many people say, who are you? Who are you? And I am that person. So I'm letting you know now. I'm letting the universe know. I'm letting everyone know that I can help you. Okay. In this lifetime, I would think in the lifetime. Okay. Oh, I asked this question. So now we're going to go into some questions. I brought these questions to her and had her ask my higher self why I was under. Another thing I want to say is when I was under, my eyes were flickering. I could feel my eyes going like back and forth into realm. And she said, and I think she said this, that she hadn't seen that before, but she's heard of it. So I could feel myself doing it, but I also felt like I couldn't move, like I was in, not that I couldn't move, I could get up at any time, but I didn't want to. I wanted to allow my higher self to come in and, give me the information I needed. So anyway, one of my questions was, am I here to break generational curses? Now, I want to say, and that's how I said it, generational curses, but I do want to say this. A generational curse is nothing but a habit that people keep playing for generations and generations and generations. I know people say, oh, generational curse is like witchy or whatever. I have been on a church channel where they've said generational curses, and all it is patterns that keep playing out. Alcoholism, molestation, beating, abuse. It's all patterns and patterns and patterns and patterns. And then we call it generational curses and we're a witch. And so a witch is just a word. A generational curse is just a word. And what it means is a witch to me means healer. And a generational curse means patterns that keep playing out from generations. So sometimes we put these big words on things and then people take them in the wrong aspect. But so, is my here to break these curses? Yes, 100%. I have broke a lot of them, thank God. And I believe that I was always supposed to do this my whole life. I've been doing it my whole life. And then also it says I have help doing it. My higher self says I have help, which is my daughter. And my son is basically the one that helped me wake up, period. He was already doing the aspect of spirituality and stuff before. So it was almost like he was getting ready. I was waking up. Then my daughter came in and was doing the help. And I have seen the patterns breaking. My ears are ringing. The patterns are breaking through her generation of children. He doesn't have any children yet, but we're breaking the generational through her. So from her son and her daughter and different stuff like that. And I said this in a past life, that she was my mother. So I don't know. And they asked me if she was my mother in my past life when I was a witch, and it said no. My higher self said no. So she must have been. My daughter's real loving, protective. She's real controlling, though. She wants to control every aspect of her life, used to everyone's life. So I want to tell you something about a spiritual thing, a spiritual being. You have to let go and control. You just have to let go of control. You just have to, or you're not going to get very far on the spiritual journey, because the spiritual journey is about allowing and loving and caring for yourself and not trying to control it. You can't control the 222s and the 444s and the things that come into your life. You don't control any of that. The gut feelings, the ringing in your ear when you're getting downloads, you can't control any of that. That just comes. Wake up at 3 o'clock in the morning and it's like a download. So anyway, so she was my mother in a past life. And I said the power of 2 with the same consciousness will help change these habits. And I said that as my third person. And then I said, thank you. Another thing I said in this whole session is I would go, oh, huh, oh, like I was listening and receiving from another person, like I was talking to you and you were talking, and I was like, oh yeah, It wasn't me. It wasn't me. So then then my next question was the ringing in my ears from downloads? And it said, you have a halo over your head, not just me, everyone. And we download information to speak now or for future. So we might get downloads today that might come in the future. We might get downloads from today that might speak out, like we're speaking this out. Like right now, whatever I'm speaking, hopefully it's helping somebody. It is. It just is. And I find this one true because I'm going to bring Alasa into this, the last lady that I had for the interview. Sometimes she will look up and say, is this something we need to tell them now? And that's, as soon as I got this hit, was like, my higher self said to me, I download in her field information for now and later. So that's when Alasa would say, oh, should we tell them now or later? She does that. I noticed that about her. And now I use this as an aspect of, oh, you get information for later, because not everything you need to know right now. And I guess the way they work, the halo, download, the ringing in my ears is saying that I'm getting the ringing. And also this could be getting messages from God. I have watched, and I've had conflict with my own self about God and about spirituality, and it's all like the same. I believe that it's the same because I have heard preachers say, I heard a word from God. And then for me, I have heard a word from spirit, a word from God, a word from my higher self, whatever you want to call it. Okay. Now, the next thing I said was, oh, I use this for another time. So then I was looking, you fall. Oh, I was asking about falling in love. I haven't been in a relationship for a really long time. And I was like, well, will I be able to find my soulmate? So my higher self says, a soulmate is just not a man or a husband for me, or for a woman, for a man, or however you want to do it. Your soulmate could be different things at different times. So it could be your man for right now, your dog, yourself. And it actually said Suzette is her own soulmate right now. So, and that is to find love and compassion in myself. We do not do that. When I was younger, I had to take care of my mom, my brothers and sisters, all that other. That's what I thought. And then I got married and had kids, and then I never had time to love and care about myself. And now it's my time. It's my time to love, care about myself. I didn't have any boundaries. It's time to put boundaries in. It's time to be that person that I never got to be. And that's what it's saying. And also it says, when you are in a relationship with a man or a woman, whichever you choose, both the same, whatever, you're falling in love with the person that you are when you are in love with that person. So actually, the way you feel about yourself, how good and yummy you feel when you're with that person. So you're not actually falling in love with the person, but you can say that. But from a spiritual aspect, you're falling in love with yourself and the way that person makes you feel when you're with that person. So you see what I mean? So you're feeling yummy and gooey and, oh my God, I feel so sexy and I feel amazing. And you're in there. You're in there with that person, because here's the thing. I feel yummy. I feel content. I feel safe. I feel sexy. I feel beautiful. I feel all those things. And I'm not in a relationship. So you can be that also. So you can't say that person is your soulmate, but you are in love with yourself and the way it makes you feel when you're in a relationship with a person. But you can feel that for yourself, because I do, and I feel all the good, gooey stuff. Actually, I look back and I feel more confined and secluded and more ruled and controlled when I was in a relationship. And now I feel free and light and sexy and beautiful and all the things now. And I could probably do that in a relationship with another person that was open-minded and free and spiritual and whatever. But in that relationship, I did not. I felt, ugh. So I wasn't loving myself in that relationship. So your soulmate is you, your dog, your husband, your children. It could be anything that makes you happy and makes you feel good. And it could be yourself. It could be God. It could be spirit. It could be, and I think it's a bunch of things, because like when I was with my husband and then I got out of that, then my dog made me feel unconditional love. And then my children opened up mindfully and made me feel good. And now I'm feeling so much good about myself. And so I think that's how this works, this whole soulmate thing. But yes, you can have a man in your reality, but it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be. Okay. And then what else did I ask? So I was asking about a career. So Source Energy was saying, because I call it Source, was saying, your career doesn't matter. You're not only supposed to be a being, like you're supposed to be a being here. You're being here and you're not supposed to be doing anything. Now, in our 3D world, we have to, and that's what she said, in the 3D world, we have to make money. So what should we do? And that's when it said you should do what you love. Then it said, Suzette Loves to Talk podcast. Suzette loves clothes. I've owned a consignment store for 25 years. Now, here's the thing. When I was a kid, I wanted to be a fashion designer. I lived in New York. This is what I wanted to do. I moved out of New York and I had no opportunity to do that. I wanted to go way back to New York to take classes and do that, but my family said they didn't have enough money. So I ended up getting married, having children, and opened a consignment store for 25 years. And now when they said Suzette loves clothes and Suzette loves to talk, I said, no wonder I had so many clothes in a consignment store. That was my way of having what I wanted and not being able to, have what I wanted. And the things that we talked about in that consignment store was amazing. I had people from all over the world. I had people coming in with guitars. I had people giving people coats that were crying. I mean, I had so much good stuff in there. So I got to talk to people. So in my past life of my marriage, I was controlled, not felt loved, not felt seen, not felt heard, abused, all the things. And then my consignment store would bring me the love of what I wanted to do, of clothes. I wanted clothes. And then to talk to different people, to get aspects to people. I had people come in and say, you should be on a stage. You should help people. I had people coming into my store that would leave crying and say, I don't know what just happened, but you have saved me. And I'm like, I'm literally sitting in my chair going, what is going on here? I was helping people with the words that I was speaking. And I think about that. Now, I don't want to open a consignment store now. So I'm doing this. I have an online business which sells clothes, and I have clothes everywhere. I always do. And then now I'm having this podcast so I can express myself and I can do interviews with people that are like-minded, because this is what we want. This is what we all want. So find something that you can do. Now, I do get paid somewhat from my selling, but my podcast I don't get paid for, but we have to do it. We have to find a way to put stuff that we love into our life and not just make it all about money, you guys, because the money will always come somehow, some way. It just does. And if it doesn't, then you're not supposed to be where you're supposed to be. You could lose your car, maybe get a new one. You lose your house, just get another one. It's always something out there. And maybe things in our life happen, so we will move. And here's a good one. I said, the next question I said is, after the career, what is Suzette needs to know about all the pain that she's endured all of her life? And Source says, we are source in a body, and pain moves mountains. Now, I have the recording that says this. Pain moves mountains. Because if we are all like, oh my God, everything's floating around so delightfully, we are not moving. But if your ass is hurting, your foot's hurting, you're falling apart, and I hate to say this, and even they say it in my higher self, in my session, pain makes you move. Pain makes you move. I mean, if your daughter's in pain and your heart's in pain, you will go a million miles. You'll get to wherever she is. If your son's in pain and you're in pain, you'll run. If you're in pain, you'll go to the hospital. Pain makes you move. Pain makes everyone move. Hurt makes everyone move. My heart's I broke up with him. I'm in pain. It makes you move to a different aspect of your life, a different consciousness, a different place, a different awareness. It makes you move. This is what was downloaded into my session. Pain will make you move. I keep saying it because it's the only thing that makes you move. The huffy, fluffy, yummy things don't make us move. And it said we are source in a body. We are source in a body. I'm not saying we're God, we're Jesus. We are source in our body. We are an aspect of source. So we can do and have whatever we want if we believe it. Believe, believe, believe. Oh, I don't know where it's at. Oh, right there. So anyway, believe it. But you have to believe it with unwavering faith. No doubt. The other day, it was so funny. I was having thoughts about something and I had a doubt and I said, thank you. Thank you for the doubt, but I don't need that anymore. I don't need the doubt in my head anymore. I am okay over here. But you can come with me. Bring the doubt with me. Bring it with me. And I will take care of you and we'll do this together. Because I want to tell you something. We're always going to have doubt. We just are. In any level of our lives, we're going to have doubt. So she said, with all the pain that she's went through, and she says, well, I hope she'll understand and change now. And it said, we don't know if she's going to change because she's a strong-headed woman. So it was so funny because I seen this in my daughter today, like how strong-headed she is. And I used to be that person. I still am strong-headed, but I'm more as let it go, let it flow. Like when I lost the house in Richmond, I just said, okay, I guess we're moving to the next one. And then I lost this house 2 months ago. Okay, we're going to the next one. I hate to lose this house, but if I get too attached to it, I will lose it. And then we're on to the next one because this is, we can't be attached. We can't be attached. We can't be strong-headed. We have to let go. We have to let it flow. If we keep holding on to things, then other things won't come. If you're holding on to the old boyfriend, the new boyfriend can't come. If you're holding on to the old belief that I'm poor and I can't do anything, then the riches cannot come. I'm just saying that because it's the truth. It's the 100% truth. So, I think I talked about the anger in my legs. I've been doing a meditation. Another thing it said is that she's a strong-headed woman, but everything that she's been through, that she's always been happy at the end. Now, this is an aspect of me that I've always had, that I can remember. I always turned the good or the bad into the good. Always, always. The house can burn down. We'll get a new house. If we move, we'll just find something better. And we always have. Now, I'm not saying that the pain and the things that we're going through is not hard. It is hard, and it is physically hard, mentally hard, and you have to let go. But it just seems to be better. So living in the unknown is scary. Changing every few months or however I do is scary. But I've had to learn to just let go and trust. So like I live in a beautiful condo on the ocean, but what if God wants something bigger for me? I have to let this go. We don't know. Or it could be like you're going back here because you have to do that. You don't know. You never know. The last time I moved back home, I was there like 3 days and my grandma was in the hospital. And my mom was like, thank you so much for being here. She needed support. You don't know where you're going. You don't know. And you've got to let go. So that was a lot of what was in my QHHT. It's probably, I probably have a lot more, but this is what I could get for now. And this is a lot. It's like a 2-hour video. I was there for like 5 hours because you get to talk out a lot of things. I did release some things that I'm not going to say here, that I could get off my chest that I never have before. And so I feel really good about that. I feel like I was in a safe space. I feel like I'm a different person now because of this. I feel like I've had more clarity of where I'm going. It's maybe be able to bring my podcast out here when before I was always worried about what people thinks about me and scared and all the things. But I don't know why, because I always got like good feedback of people, oh, thank you and welcome and all the other things. Um, I don't know. We all have insecurities. I love to self-sabotage, and I could tell that I'm self-sabotaging this program and the last program, but I'm just going to keep pushing through, and I'm going to let you guys know that I'm pushing through and keep going, because this gives people courage to do it themselves. So if you want to be a podcaster, or you want to be, a QHHT technique therapist, whatever. If you want to be anything, just be it, you guys. I mean, really, just be it. Um, I don't want to be a fashion designer anymore. I want to sell clothes, and I love clothes, and I love fashion. So I do want to do that, and maybe I'll design clothing later on. I don't know. I have no clue. But right now, I love doing my podcast. I love doing that for sure. I love talking anything spirituality, because it's made me grow into the best woman that I can be today. And I will be a better woman next year. I just know it, because I keep growing and growing and growing. And it never stops, you guys. You can never stop reflecting on yourself and going back and saying, and as long as you're living, you're always got something to look forward to, and another goal, and another person you could help, because this can help someone. This very video right here can help somebody. Your next video can help somebody. And that's what we're here to do. I know this for 100%. We are here to serve the people. No doubt. There's no doubt in that. That's for sure. I have a lot of doubts in myself always, and probably always will. But I'm not doubting that these podcasts can help people. And that's one of the reasons why I'm putting them out here, is because, for one, it helps me to get everything out that I need to get out. And also it can help people. And that's what we're here, helping people, healed people, help people. While we're healing, we're helping. And I truly, honestly love everyone. I don't have anything bad against anyone. I mean, I don't want to be harmed and, in any sort of way, but I'm very open-minded, so I kind of look at both aspects of why this person's doing this, and why they're not. And I've had a lot of coaching where I've coached people and said, well, he's done this to me. Well, where's your responsibility in it? Not everybody likes me because of that, but it's true. We have to take responsibility for ourselves, look at ourselves in the situation. I've had to do it too. I've had to do it in every situation. And it makes you a better person, because once you look at everything, and this sounds weird, but once you look at everything like it's your fault, then you have the responsibility to change it, and you can change it. But if you're saying, well, they did it, then you can't change them. But if you say, well, why is this in my reality, and what can I do to change it? Then it changes the world. It changes your world around you. And once you start changing your world, your whole world changes. The people, the places, the things. I'm living proof. If you've known me from back when, and you see me now, am I living proof? I am. So anyway, thank you so much for joining my podcast today. I hope this helped you. I will, if you're interested in this, let me know, and I'll get you in touch with the lady that does it, or there's other practitioners out there. But I will recommend her. She was lovely, beautiful, kind, compassionate, just the softest, nicest voice to do this situation. Like I said, I needed that. I needed the safety, because I was scared to go into it at first. But it made me feel safe, secure. I got so many nuggets from it, so much information that I needed, and I'm just so happy with it. It's 12:12. I don't know if I'll do it again, but maybe I will. A lot of it says that you don't need it again. It's like your higher self goes in and does it for you. Another thing it did was did the body scan. We did that at the last that I didn't talk about. We did a body scan to check out my physical body to see if there was anything wrong with it. And it said no, other than the legs are heavy from the anger, which I've been dealing with that, trying to get rid of that on my own. So I just want to tell you this. I hope you love my podcast. And if you do, share it out, tell people about it. Um, if you want to be on, message me. I got you. Tammy's next week. And I can't wait to see you again. I might make podcasts and put them on here at any point, but I am going to commit to Sundays at 10 o'clock. That's one of my times that I'm going to commit to until something changes it. Hopefully it won't. But at least once a week for sure. All right, you guys, I love you so much. Thank you, and live your dreams. Love you.